So during our last episode of Comics and Coffee, I asked you all to head over to the forums at theweeklypool.net and post up your top 5 choices for Marvel vs. DC battles. And I would upload that video for my top 5 Tuesday video. Well, the response was incredible. You guys posted up so many different battles. And so what I've done here is I've compiled a list of what I consider to be the best and most interesting from the list that you all had given me. So the first battle on our list comes from Jumpstart with the Incredible Hulk versus Doomsday. Now, as you guys know, the Incredible Hulk has virtually unlimited strength that's tied directly to his anger. The angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. And while his strength has varied over the years, the best display came during World War Hulk when he stomped on the ground in New York and shook the entire East Coast. Now, where the Incredible Hulk has infinite strength, Doomsday has adaptation. Doomsday is a culmination of a clone being exposed to the harshest of environments, dying to those environments, and then being cloned again, each time becoming impervious to what it was that had previously killed him. Now, both of these characters have healing factors and a resistance level high enough to survive nuclear explosions and the destruction of planets. So I would say that this fight would ultimately end up coming down to brute strength. Having said that, I think that this would actually end up being a draw. With Doomsday's ability to adapt to what had previously killed him and Hulk's strength being limitless, I would say it would turn into an endless cycle of Doomsday dying and coming back to life, only to be killed again by the Incredible Hulk. So the next battle on our list comes from Pius83 with Superman versus Darwin. Now, since there wasn't a version of Superman that was specified here, we're going to go with Silver Age Superman, since that is arguably when he was at his most powerful. In addition to Superman's normal run of abilities, which include heat vision and X-ray vision, Silver Age Superman was strong enough to pull multiple planets out of their galaxies and to the other side of the universe, as well as being able to actually fly fast enough to break the time barrier and travel through time. Now, Darwin in Marvel Comics is more of an obscure character. Much like Doomsday, Darwin had the ability to adapt, and his ability actually manifested itself with his birth. The difference here is that where Doomsday had to die in order to adapt, Darwin adapts in real time. If Darwin's head were to be plunged into a tank of water, he would develop gills, and if he suddenly found himself in the depths of space, his body would adapt to the lack of oxygen. Having said that, my vote here goes to Darwin due to the fact that Darwin's ability to adapt since birth means Superman traveling into the past wouldn't really matter, since Darwin would adapt as a newborn baby to whatever it is that Superman tried to do to him. In addition, Darwin could also adapt into any material that's strong enough to withstand the physical strength of Superman, and that Darwin himself would most likely adapt his full body or a part of his body into kryptonite in order to simply kill Superman. Now, the next battle on our list comes from Jay Walker with Batman versus Iron Man. Now, to me, this is one of the more intriguing battles on our list. As we know, both Tony Stark and Batman are billionaires with vast resources and knowledge. Where Iron Man has knowledge in artificial intelligence and all forms of science, Batman does as well. But Batman also has his abilities as a detective on his side. Having said that, the battle would most likely come down to a physical one, in that Tony Stark would likely be able to hack any of the computerized devices that Batman would use. Tony would most likely allow his ego to get in the way as well, which would give Batman the upper hand in disabling the Iron Man armor using some kind of a low-tech device. From there, Tony would lose, since he just doesn't have the kind of martial arts abilities that Batman has, since again, this would ultimately come down to a physical fight between the two of them. So number 2 on our list comes from Sar Breezy with Red Hood versus Bucky Barnes. Now, this is going to be a tough one because these two are incredibly even. With Jason Todd, we know that his New 52 history told us that he was trained by the world's top minds in demolition, combatology, martial arts, and espionage, not to mention his detective experience under Batman. However, and this is a big however, we can't discount Bucky Barnes, since he was trained by the United States Special Forces, Captain America, and the Russians in demolitions, combatology, martial arts, and espionage as well. In addition to this, unlike Jason Todd, who's more cocky and arrogant with his abilities, Bucky Barnes is a no-nonsense fighter that doesn't really get caught up in the moment. That is to say, he focuses on exactly what it is that he's doing at any particular point in time. Ultimately, though, I would have to give this fight to Jason Todd. The reason for this is that while Jason Todd would initially be a little cocky and arrogant, he'd pick up on the seriousness of Bucky Barnes very fast. In addition to this, Jason Todd would also realize that while Bucky Barnes is a prodigious fighter, his robotic arm enables him to deal more damage than his non-robotic arm. And so as a result, Jason Todd would most likely disable the robotic arm very early into the fight. This combined with his experience as a master of a multitude of disciplines of martial arts would allow him to overcome Bucky Barnes, although again, it would be a very difficult feat for him to achieve. Now, number 1 comes from Jor-El of Dolton, and this is Deadpool versus the Joker. Now, as soon as I saw this, I knew this had to be number 1. And to be honest, I don't think there's any real doubt here that Deadpool would win due to his healing factor, but man, would this be a hysterical fight to see. Truthfully, I wouldn't see this fight lasting very long. Joker would most likely run through his normal bag of goodies, which include his, his acidic lapel, his several knives, and so on and so forth, and eventually he would probably settle on Joker Venom. But Deadpool, of course, having his healing factor, would be virtually immune to Joker Venom. In addition to this, Deadpool would constantly talk about nonsense and break the fourth wall, which would drive the Joker nuts since he wouldn't know who Deadpool was talking to. And so the fight itself would most likely end with the Joker just kind of giving up and then just going home. That's really the only way I see this happening. I don't really see this happening any other way. With that being said, let me know in the comments section which characters you would have chosen out of this top 5 list of Marvel vs. DC battles, and I will catch you guys later. Peace. Closer to it now.